Hey to both of you and to everyone watching. I'm Scott, marketing man here at Agency Zoom. I'm joined by our VP of Sales and Marketing, Kat.
Hello, hello.
And also with us today is Christine and Mark Bailey of Bailey Family Insurance.
Hey!
What's going on, guys?
So today we're going to be breaking down an automation sequence for bulk leads, talking a little bit about what's working really well and areas that could be even better. So before we really dig into things, why don't you guys start off telling us a little bit about your agency and also what you're hoping to achieve with this campaign?
Who are we, Christine?
Well, hey, so I'm Christine. This is my husband, Mark. Yes, we are one of those married couples that open an insurance agency together.
Yep.
Bold
We
move.
own Bailey.
Yeah.
We own Bailey Family Insurance. We're located in Springfield, Illinois. We've been open 3.5 years. We really just make it work because we've got our director of technology and I focus more on the marketing. We have separate offices with drawers, so we're able to kind of separate a little there,
Yeah.
but really just coming together. But yeah, my whole background is marketing. Mark's background is insurance, and we decided to bring the two together and open doors. And
No, everything's been, it just like I'm sure many of the viewers, right? It comes with its challenges. And my background is claims. So started after the military, started a claims adjuster for nationwide insurance, bodily injury, and all that fun stuff. And then started a total loss unit at Horace Mann. Then I was recruited by State Farm. Like I said, did a little stint with them. And then we finally found our way and joined the independent world about 3.5 years ago. And it's been amazing. And, why we're here today is to kind of, hopefully, show a lot of the struggles that we've overcome with big thanks to Agency Zoom. So we appreciate you guys having us so much.
yeah, and just a little makeup of our agency. There's 5 of us. So the 2 of us and 3 others, 1 CSR, 2 producers, 1 personal lines, 1 commercial lines. We're heavy P&C. And then
we actually have a couple more coming on board this year. And again, we'll kind of be able to talk to this, but with the kind of the structure that Agency Zoom gives us. Again, this isn't a huge pitch throw out for you guys. It is, but with the the structure that it gives us, it's we're actually able to hire. We can justify the numbers because it's now right in front of us.
Awesome.
And so we hope that that's another thing that the viewers of this take away today.
Awesome. Well, why don't you guys tell us a little bit about, I know you brought us an automation sequence here using Smart Cycle and bulk leads. Why don't you guys tell us a little bit about that and what you're currently achieving with that and goals for the campaign?
Well, I think Christine will kind of talk to the individual campaigns that we run, as you can see, for photographers. We've also had a couple other ones for fitness instructors. But really what we're trying to do with our Smart Cycle is it's not a sales pitch. What it really is it's a value proposition. We want to make sure that when they're going to the Smart Cycle, they're learning things of the value of the independent agent. What we're doing here locally in the community. I'm not just saying, hey, you're missing out on the account rounding opportunity, or this is why you should come back and do business with us. It's more or less just kind of letting them know about what's going on in the community. And Christine, for the reason why we kind of put the photographers in there as well as other lead sources that we're going after is because we feel like all of it's value. Why did you get that started?
So this particular one, all about photographers, is that yes, we ran a leads list from a third-party vendor. We found all the local photographers, and we were able to scrub those lists and get it down to those with email addresses, and then upload in there into Agency Zoom. And then we sent out that initial email. Well, so we sent one just immediately, day 1, and then we sent that next one on day 7. Then from there, they'll get put into the Smart Cycle. So we could dive a little bit into the 2 that we sent, but basically, like Mark said, what we've got up next is hairstylists, and then beyond that, we do have fitness instructors. So we already have the imagery built out. Now we just actually need to kind of turn these on. We were kind of doing one at a time because we actually have had a few phone calls, and then of course other things that are going on in our commercial department. But this is just one of those things where we found one of our commercial carriers that these are just easy. Turn them, burn them, quote them. They've got the added endorsements in there for those photographers. I mean, the price point is right there, cost effective, more so than any other photographer campaigns that we had seen. And so that's kind of what we were trying to do here.
I think really a testimonial to the win of this is that we ran the hairstylists just for, a couple of days. And then once we put them into the Smart Cycle, we actually got a phone call from the people that own a cosmetology school. They want us to come in and speak to every class that they have about, some, being an entrepreneur, right? The coverages that they need if they go out, on their own, or are they going to be going into like a larger, salon environment that has that, maybe, what other endorsements do they need? And so it was a real gateway just for one, hitting it with that initial email that they told us that, Mark, we get these every week, but then following it up with, our actual Smart Cycle campaign is, with a value proposition, not a sales proposition, was all the difference. So we were excited about it.
I love to see how industry specific you guys have gotten. It's something that I'm sure we'll touch back on again in more detail once we have each of the emails, in front of us. But I do love, how industry specific you're getting with this campaign, how you're using Smart Cycle to really split the people into those industries and, having these much more effective campaigns because you're hitting people with the exact messaging they need to hear specific to their industry, specific to their needs, and really presenting those value props to them.
Absolutely. And yeah, just circling back to just Smart Cycle in general, because after they receive these first couple, that's where they're going to be put. Mark and I, if you check out our Bailey Family Insurance Facebook page or any of our social media for that matter, we are huge on short video. We are putting tips out there. We're doing small business spotlights for our commercial clients, some of our referral partners. A lot of our clients don't even come into the office. We're able to do everything over the phone and email and text message. And so we have a welcome video that just introduces the team. Right now we're hiring, so we have a recruitment video. I mean, we're just huge on video. And so being able to just put those links in the Smart Cycle email to say, catch this quick tip, or follow us on social media to keep up with us, or here's what you're missing, and here's just a list of some of our accolades. Or like Mark said, we're always out in the community and doing things there. So just, it's not a hard sell at that point. We're just staying in front of them with that value added information.
Absolutely.
Up until then they get put back in.
We've also toyed with the idea of doing like a hiring campaign in the Smart Cycle, where we find, kind of target an industry and try to get a list of, either people that are already, insurance agents, and then kind of dropping a value proposition in front of them. So sky's the limit on this.
Yeah, well, sounds like you guys are really making use of it. Kat, why don't we go ahead and jump into one of these emails? I know we're talking about them in a little detail now, so maybe it'll help to get one of these in front of us and really start digging into each one.
Yeah, so I'm going to start with your guys' first one right here. So we provide the perfect policy, and then you guys have a pretty long subject line on that one. And I'm going to pull it up. The super awesome part is because you guys picked such a good niche market on this, particularly speaking, you have a wonderful open rate, which I do.
Yeah, we were very happy with that. 64%.
Yeah, that is a good open rate.
Yeah, that's awesome. Scott and I do, for the sake of being cautious, want to talk to you guys a little bit about subject lines, because that's something we keep track of even with you guys.
Yeah, so I do a lot of work trying to research, what makes an amazing subject line versus what makes a good subject line versus what makes an okay subject line. And all these are good, but I'd love to see them hit that amazing point. A couple suggestions that we usually keep in mind. I personally don't like all caps in my subject lines. I usually see lower numbers with them because it kind of implies shouting. And I like to keep my subject lines between 3 to 5. So especially when you've got, niche markets like photographers, more creative souls out there, I like intrigue over bright and flashy. I like subject lines maybe leading with a question or a statement that trails off into a, I'd like to know more. So that was my one recommendation I had when looking at this here would be, I would love to see a shorter subject line that uses intrigue to draw in the creative audience that you're trying to reach.
Absolutely, that makes sense. Thank you for the feedback. Take a note.
And I think we talked about this a little bit, guys. I love that you guys have so much imagery.
Gorgeous.
And like with photographers, again, this is probably the one place that if you send an email with a photo in it, that they'll receive it. Like, oh, okay, I'll be able to open this and see it. But when we get into like hairstylists who are maybe checking from their phone, and like especially if it's PDF and stuff like that, it's really nice to be able to make sure that this content, which I actually think your guys' content is wonderful. Like you said, it's not salesy. It is built in a way that it like communicates like a really good friendship, but still giving, sincere advice. So I really like that. So we kept your guys' content pretty consistent, but we did chop up some of your pictures, and we've done a little bit here too. We put a little nod in. So this is our kind of refocusing to what you guys did. So I'm going to show you guys this, and this is your first time seeing it, so you're allowed to say you hate it. Maybe, but I'll edit it out if you do. So this is our Content Lab's take on it. We put the subject line, like Scott said, kept it a little bit shorter, but focus on the perfect shot. You know, they are creative, they're intrigued by it. And then we grabbed your guys' branding and all of your colors and stuff, because we loved the, like, you're right off the get-go, it's like professional photography is what you guys are focusing on here. Kept a lot of the same aesthetic where everything's squared off. Have a person up front with it still, though, too. I love that you guys are so humanized and, like, just centered around people. And then
It's such a human industry.
Yeah. And you
I love it.
Look at that.
so
Can we do a content lab for every single one of our? Can we do that, please? Yeah.
So it took a little while, but we found, a graduate that their cap and gown was the same. We found a Marine, knowing you guys are veterans. We found a Marine at his wedding. And I found a family, and I thought that was just so cute, because I know you guys, have your little girl and everything too. So I'm like, this looks like your guys' lives without having to, like, expose you guys as a business. But it also gets your content in a position that it's accessible, and it's, like, aesthetically a little cleaner on the eyes too. It's not black with a white text on it. And then Scott, do you want to talk a little bit too about, like, personalization?
Yeah, of course.
That in there for you guys in a couple of different spots too.
Because anywhere you can use the name of the person, anywhere you can personalize it. I love seeing "Hi Scott" on an email that comes in. I know the marketing tricks. I know it's just a little squiggly line with first name in brackets on the back end, but I still like seeing "Hi Scott." It feels like someone's talking to me. So I think that anywhere you can personalize, especially in subject lines, but within the content as well. The other reason we split it up like this is because if images don't load, that, not so much photographers, because if photographers aren't able to load images in their emails, they might have a hard time doing their job. But as you move into some of these other niche audiences, that ability to say, well, my image didn't load, but I still have all the information there, is important as well. So between the personalization aspect and the ability to have it load on any number of devices now, I think that there's, a couple of arguments for having the text in there versus one block image.
Yeah, absolutely. Kat, you mentioned that, and that made a ton of sense. And this, you just crushed it.
Yeah.
Like, love it.
That hit
So,
us.
yeah.
You guys did hit it right on the head. We really appreciate it.
We got the Marine right here, and
Yeah.
we're on the at least annual family photos.
Yeah.
And she's only 2.5.
Love it. Yay. Well, I'm glad this fits. I'm glad this feels like, home to what you guys like.
Yeah.
It's in there, so you guys can absolutely come in and, like, spruce up and check on anything you want. I think that's the other thing that's nice when you have everything. It seems, I don't want to say piecemealed out, but, like, everything is accessible. You guys can very easily now come in here, and if you say, I want to put a new little question in here because we're finding that this is something that's not working, you don't have to rework your whole image. You don't have to re-upload it. It's just there. You guys can move faster.
Oh yeah, we plan to. Just looking at this, like, multiple ideas come to mind. Now it's just another template. It's another, our tool in our box that, I think we can, use across the board for different industries.
Yeah, I just think, you get so many emails from carriers, and there's one in particular that sends those types of, like, imagery emails, and it is just so much more visually appealing. But hey, I'm right here on my desk computer most of the time reading those. I don't think about the fact, like you said, especially the hairstylists that are probably constantly on the go and on their phone, that they may not load. So
that actually gets us into your next one. So, and Scott has done a ton of research with our agencies, knowing that day one, which you guys did, is an awesome time to send out that first email. So
absolutely have to hit that day one. Yeah.
I think Scott would end my life. The other thing we did, and I've purposely built it so that it's mobily responsive for you guys, is day 4. And you guys have mentioned it a little earlier without realizing it. But your mission and, like, being engaged with people and how much effort you guys have put into video just much. So
wow.
Day 4, and this one's going to come from the agency owners. So it's not going to take the spot that your salesperson has, that individualized relationship with the person, but it still gets you guys front and center. There's still the whole team there. Scott, do you want to talk
Yeah.
about the like day
Yeah.
1, day 4 gaps?
Yeah,
in
I
your-
love day 4 as an email because, you can get some people who check their every single email every single day, right? And then you can have, and I know this is going to give Kat and Minnie heart attack, people like me who come in with like 9,132 unopened messages in their email, and stuff slips by. It slips by so easily, and especially when you're going into like photographers, you're going to a market where there's a lot more creatives. You can get the end of the spectrum where you're hyper organized, or the end of the spectrum where your life's a mess, but you've made organization of that mess. But sometimes these kinds of emails can slip through. So I do love day 4 because if you hit day 1 and then all the way to day 15, that's such a gap for me. And I'd love just a little piece in the middle there, just in case they miss day 1, just in case they're not seeing day 15. So yeah, our goal with day 4 is usually as an in-between messaging, just to introduce the agency. And you guys had a perfect video for this. So what we've gone ahead and done is we've turned it into a GIF with a clear play button in the bottom right. You click the GIF or the link below, and you'll be linked over into the full video. But this immediately catches attention. I love having a short, like 10-second GIF at the top of an email, because no one opens an email expecting animation, or very few people open an email expecting animation. And when they do, it just captures interest right away.
You're absolutely right, because we put so many video links in there, but oh my goodness, you guys just made Mark a gift.
Yeah, I know, right? We're going to send this to my mom so she can check us out. Can
I get this loaded into my iPhone?
Yeah,
so
right.
That I can send out?
Yes.
She's probably going to try to click it for like an hour. So no, that is, you guys absolutely killed it again. I was trying to research last night on how to switch some of my YouTube videos over to like an HTML so I could get that preview on these, and I gave up halfway through. But
yeah, we use a tool called Giphy. It's a great tool. You can take your YouTube video, plug it right in, cut it down to a 10-second, download it, and upload it straight into this template.
Really perfect.
Yep. Noted.
That's a nugget of wisdom.
You guys are going to want to do too, and Scott talks about this all the time, and we're building it out. It's going to be an enhancement here in the near future. You're going to want to still have your GIFs as like a link, because then you're going to be able to start using through our retention marketing and even Smart Cycle. You're going to start looking at your click-through rate. So you guys have kick-ass open rates. The next thing you're going to want to look at is like, are the people clicking and engaging on that next level? And those will be the ones that to put a little more effort behind, even and call, that, oh, this person might be more ready than we realized. So we want to do that and give you guys that opportunity too.
I couldn't be more excited for the retention piece either. I think that's going to be a huge play. So we appreciate all you guys are doing continuously, enhancing and optimizing this platform.
Absolutely, guys.
Absolutely.
Got your Chamber of Commerce in there. I found it on your website. I'm like, you guys are so community centric. I'm like, I can't not put this in here for you guys.
We actually just got 40 under 40 this year, and we're up for another one for the Chamber here in like a week.
Yeah, the 40 under 40 Springfield Business Journals. That's super exciting. But due to COVID, they have to do it kind of weird this year. Instead of the convention center, we're going to be out at the drive-in movie theater, and they're going to bring us up on stage.
Hey, that's fun.
So we're going to be on like 200 foot screen.
I love it. I love the
And then with the Chamber of Commerce, we're up for the Small Business Awards for new and emerging category, and second year in a row. So we're really hoping to win this one. We'll find out in October, because then I think we're going to be like ancient after that. We're going to be after the 3-4 years that you must be in business to get that award. So anyway, thank you for including that. We're really excited. And yes, as you probably have seen from navigating, we try to really just make an impact on the community and really make a splash.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure, love it. We got to get the 40 under 40 right there for you guys too. We got to get that logo.
Yes, our plaques are ready for pickup.
Yeah.
We can put that.
And so just I asked you guys a question on that. So with the GIF, so you can actually embed like the backlink to take you to a video?
So what you'll do right there, like your meet the team or your button and stuff, it depends if you guys want to build it. So with a GIF, when you guys put it in here, if you want somebody to click on the GIF and have it link, you'll build it in your templates first.
Okay.
And then you'll select it as a template from in here, from this drop down. If you guys want to make it quick, clean, easy, and in your main template, the little lightweight template editor here, you guys can just add your GIF right there on your photo and then put your link right below it. So totally whatever you guys feel most comfortable with, kind of wherever you're working out of.
Perfect.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You just spiced our emails up.
Yeah,
Level
right?
10.
I think that's going to be a lot easier than trying to convert it into like HTML, so it gives you the preview. I think I
And I
like this a little
love
better.
I love the ability to have the GIF, have the little play button on it, have something that shows, everyone sees movement, they click on the movement, and have the image itself be hyperlinked off to the full video as well. So
Yep.
if that's possible, it's always something I recommend, is making sure that, someone's going to click on the animation, make sure it goes over, but also having that option down below in case it's not immediately apparent to someone that they're supposed to click the image itself.
Well, I hope we don't have anything going on the next couple nights because I'm not going to figure out any projects. So
Sorry about date night, Christine. Sounds like
yeah, right. Yeah, with the 2-year-old. Well, I mean, date night nowadays when you own an agency together is this going over gifts and everything else. So at least for the first couple of years.
Again, you turned Mark into a GIF. I'm going to show this to everyone.
Yeah.
Love it. So yeah, so that's day 1 we got through. Day 4 we've gone through, taking a different approach each time. 1 from the assigned person. This one, coming from you guys as agency owners. And then this seems really small, but it's been a change that we've had because you guys can turn off delivery on weekends now. And day 14 has a slightly better performance. You guys are obviously able to change this if you want to. Your current one's on day 15, and in no way is it doing badly. So you guys are welcome to stick it out on day 15 if you love it, if it's your lucky number. But we made you this one, and it's actually, let's go in and look at your old one. So this
Do a
is
drum roll. Jeez. Yeah.
yeah, this is the old one. So day 15, it's email from John, who you've assigned it to. The photographer template applies to just your photographer leads, specifically for your commercial ones. And you guys have it paired this with your favorite lens. And you guys have some really beautiful graphics in here too. You have a really nice quote in here. And you have your information for John as well. One of the things that I've worked with a lot of agencies on, and even in working with you guys, is frequently realizing that if you start a relationship with one person, it's kind of nice to stick it out, especially as prevalent as you guys are in the community. So we did this one as the assigned to person, which most often is probably going to be John. He's working them. He's rolling up his sleeves on that. But then you have all the rest of it. And then we did, to get their name on it, which Scott has mentioned, we did pair this with, and that'll be their business names, or Mark's favorite lens, or Christine's favorite lens. So if somebody else in that office is opening it, they're gonna be like, oh, I don't know which one they're talking about. And they're kind of, again, that intrigue from the creatives. And then you guys have, again, your branding and your stuff here, your same. The perfect company is like using the perfect lens, all your guys' colors and stuff. And then we have your quote here. We've linked out to Chubb a little bit more, and this one's a little more personalized yet because we spent a little more time at this point with this person. Scott, do you want to talk about that? Like the effort to get, or even the expectation to become more personalized over time?
Yeah, and I think, there's a couple blog articles we have up on it and sort of how we recommend moving through levels of personalization as you develop this relationship, as you try to get closer to someone, and then, realizing that there's a certain point where, get more personal. They'll have, even if they haven't opened your email, they'll start to recognize your name. So even that adds a layer of the appropriateness of the personalization as you move along, and you'll start to see better results because of it. I like to include personalization from the start, but again, that language can become more relaxed, more personal as you begin to develop a relationship with someone. So letting that language evolve over time in these sequences is always important to me, at least. And even if it's something like going back up to the subject line real quick, even if it's something as, personal, as relaxed, as familiar, as including, these are photographers, so it's a little more relaxed, creative. Again, something like an emoji of a camera or a camera lens inside the subject line, as opposed to all capitalization. That's something that's equally eye-popping. You don't see a ton of emoji in your inbox, and it's definitely a hit or miss depending on the audience. Like if you're talking to a very strict businessman, seeing an emoji there is not going to be the best call. But if you're talking to creative types, seeing like a little emoji camera next to and a message with their name in it is definitely eye-catching.
Yeah,
absolutely,
definitely. Yeah, and
way
I think,
better than shouting with caps.
Yeah, and I think you're hitting the nail on the head. Clearly, you've got the marketing gene, and it's really helping us get out of the mindset and get into this is an actual conversation, and that's what we need to be more cognizant of. The more days that we go down, start to almost build it as like a, hey, we've been talking for for this long now, and and start to, like you're saying, using first names maybe, and kind of changing the conversation. So I like it. Thank you.
And I like to say that if you've hit that point where you're finally pushing that last email out, the last in the sequence, when you're like, maybe later, maybe we'll talk in a year. By the time you get to that message, I like the farewell language, the maybe later language, to be very personal by that point because of how many contact points you've hit by then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right, guys, that's what we had for you this time. And all you have to do is you guys, decide what you like and everything. You guys can edit just like we were doing today. So if there's little things where it ended up with hi instead of hello and you want to make those edits, you guys can. But then we'll swap over your little switches once you guys feel comfortable and have had a chance to really reflect on it, and it's there for you. So thank you so much for participating.
So much for spicing those up. Like Mark said, hairstylists and fitness instructors will be coming at you soon.
Exactly. Be sure not to give me your contact information, or else I'll have to bug you guys too. Yeah.
No, but you definitely gave us some ideas. I'm glad we didn't get too far into these campaigns.
For sure.
We've got a couple others in line after that. We're just trying to space them out so it's not kind of overloading the commercial department. But so I'm glad that we were able to dive in on one of these early ones.
Yeah. Selfishly, please always feel free to use our content. Yeah. Anytime you have suggestion or want to show something, definitely dive right on in and grab it. But guys, you continue to bring value, and that's one of the things I love about not only your company, but a lot of you guys personally. I would feel like unfortunately for you, we've gotten to know you, through multiple of our questions, but you guys have always been gracious hosts. So we really appreciate it.
And something I do want to just mention too, is we've actually pulled this up and shown this to a couple different carriers. One that we were trying to get a contract with to kind of just talk about how we already currently market and how we could go after some of their niche categories. And then another one that actually is kind of what set us up with some of these, and that is like they actually put a couple links on our website to kind of show that we're really focusing on these types of businesses. And so we were able to pull this up and say, hey, this is what we're going to be doing for those categories for you. Oh. And the carriers, these reps, mind are blown. Yeah. They'll say, we're going to use you as an example with our other agencies, and they just are, they're just loving it. They're not seeing something like this out there. So
that's a great point for other agents out there that may be watching this. If there is something you're trying to get into, or or niche, watch this, start to build out your value proposition, and then show that to the carrier. It may just get the next appointment you've been looking for.
So that's incredible advice, guys. Thank you so much for offering that up.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. We didn't pick you for no reason. You guys have been absolutely awesome. You do a great job not only taking care of your community, but spending time with your other agents and, all the people at conferences and anyone you come across. You guys are just wonderful, wonderful people. And, that's why we love Content Labs, is because it's a chance for everyone to get connected and to really spend time together and to be able to help each other out. So thank you guys for being always willing to help, but also willing to be here today and to participate. Y'all are great.
Awesome. Anything we could ever do. We didn't make any of this stuff up. We just found it from gracious hosts like yourself and all the other agents out there.
Yep, we just love collaborating. So reach out if you've got any questions. We're an open book, and we will likely learn something from you as well. So.
So thank you guys again. Thank you, Kat, and thanks to everyone watching. If you're on the blog right now watching there, you can go ahead and scroll down. There'll be links to some helpful blogs that are related to what we discussed today, as well as the automation sequence we used today, so you can adapt it to your own campaigns with your own niche or broad audiences. Either way, thank you guys again, and I hope we were helpful.
You were. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.